Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
What would you say you do here?
God damn it. Bob, we love playing here tonight. My brother's ready.
It helps if you think of it as a game, Bob. Every game has a winner and a loser.
You must possess strength to inflict pain, Bob.
Happy New Year and welcome to 2026 with the Two Bobs Cast. What is up, everybody? We are an A to Z rock and metal podcast. Today, though, taking a break from the A to Z to just go over some of our favorite albums of 2025. Perfect way to bring in the new year for us. I'm here once again with my partner in crime, Mr. H. Mr. H, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Happy 2026 to everybody. Not much is going on. Back to work today. Yeah. But it's nice. I had a couple weeks off, so got to go down south visit my dad. Obviously we had a lot of family days, a lot of makeup Christmases and whatnots. So we got to visit with everybody, some people multiple times. All good.
Yeah.
Back to the grind now.
It's hard. It's hard to get back, though.
It is. But you know what's not hard to get back to? This stuff. Back to the grind in life, but back to our weekly fun of Tuesdays.
Yes, sir.
Here we are.
Tuesdays, maybe we talked about maybe Thursdays. We'll have to talk more about that. But
we change it up here and there depending on schedules, but we'll try to nail down a specific time. We've already moved up the time, obviously. People are going to be probably a little thrown off by that. We're probably going to continue to do it earlier than the 6:45 we were doing it. So it'll probably be more like 6 to 6:30, somewhere in there. We'll be starting every week. So like John said, our buddy John had to change his alarm, his Tuesday Bob's alarm. So know that our show is starting. He's going to have to move it up. So I said, just move it up like 45 minutes and then you'll catch the whole thing no matter what. Right. And you can always catch it on Spotify or YouTube later.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you can't listen to it, but we might move it up a little bit just because, works better schedule-wise for both of us. So.
Yeah, my wife got a new job, so before she was not getting home until 5:30 and dinner and all that stuff, but she's home now by 3:00. So, so
we only started later out of necessity before. So
yeah, exactly right. So I just found myself scarfing food, like, all right, I'll be right there. H,
chewing while the song's playing. He's still chewing over here.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's good now. We can breathe a little bit and still get on here early. And I think the goal is to do our show and then be able to not go right to bed, right?
Right.
Kind of hang out with our wives or whatever for a little bit. And in the summer, I mean, right now we don't have any light, but the summer's here. We'll get a little daylight.
Sure.
But now it's dark at 5:00. So,
and if we, go over, we're not like pushing 9:00. Like, all right, we got to wrap this up. We can go a little over sometimes, and it's not as big a deal.
Yes,
it'll work out great for everyone.
I think so.
I'm confident.
Well, us here at the Two Bobs Cast, we're always looking out for everybody.
So. We're all about the Two Bobs.
We're all about all the
looking out for everyone. Yeah, we're about all the Bobs. It's the Bobaverse.
All about Bobs.
Like a book series, I guess. The Bobaverse.
Yes, sir.
Familiar with that? I can't remember the author, but if John pops in here, he'll know. He'll put it in the comments here. So, but anywho, we are here and we are cranking out the best of our top 2025. I'll probably mention some shows in here. One in particular that we went to multiple times together, which was cool. So
Yeah, we could probably load that in with one of our
Yes.
selections
With
that
one of our selections, which I'm sure
guaranteed.
is on both of our lists.
Yep, absolutely.
We
So
haven't
yeah,
shared our lists, honest,
no,
so neither one of us have really any idea, although we both have a lot of idea on what's on the other
yeah,
person's list, but we
yeah, we
also
were
have lists from our friends, Rob and also Hendo too,
Yep,
so
yeah, we'll share those at the end from our
mhm,
buddies, and like I said, we'll just kind of go through our list. We set it at 10. We wanted to do 10
mhm.
albums that we liked the best in 2025. No particular order. Neither of us wanted to put a number on them.
Yeah,
As Mr. H said, it's hard when they come out at different times. It's not like we've had years to
yeah,
digest these and go back. So
yeah,
it's not real
and
fair to
then
things, you know.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Yeah, like going to shows, like, if we hadn't seen this band, we're not, going crushing through all their material. And then, yeah, if something came out in February, it's not really fair to compare that against something that came out like in November. It's just
Yeah.
so. Anywho, they're just all the kind of the top ones that we like the most, but not in any particular order. So this will be fun though to see who's got what on whose list. So
Yep.
I always
Should be
all right.
fun.
First, you want me to go first? You want to flip for it?
Uh Why don't I just go first, and I will
All
just
right,
start off with, and I'll just start right off with the one that I know is on both of our lists.
rip
We
that
talk
Band-Aid
about our
off.
show. So our first, both collectively, one of our favorite albums of 2025, of course, produced by the great Gene Walker, who, of course, AKA known as Mr. Tobias Forge, in his
Gene
collective
Walker.
of Ghost.
Gene, why? Just, it's so funny though. At the same time,
I know. Yep.
Gene Walker.
I know.
Oh
It's
man.
hilarious. I can't remember. He used other aliases too earlier. And
Oh,
just a
he's
guy
probably
shrouded in mystery.
yeah. Tries to be, but we all know
Yeah.
who he is.
We all know who he is now. And
So
his
funny.
mask is half off now too. So, we could see half of his face.
Ah.
Unlike how we used to, where it was all kinds of different masks. And of course, I'm talking about the 6th studio album by Swedish rock band Ghost. And the album is titled Skeleta. We both loved this album right from when it was released. We were both anticipating it. We did Ghost in 2024, so we knew that the album was coming, and again, we both absolutely loved the album that came out before, Impera, and we were ready. We were pounding the table, and it did not disappoint. Different degrees of liking it for sure. I think H liked it a little more than me overall, but again, it's still amazing. I think everything the band does is pretty amazing, especially now, the last 4 records, now that they've found their groove. And I'll let H get in a little bit more of the shows too, but again, we saw them 2 in a row over the summer, and man, it's great. I will shout out the song that I think is just the absolute gem, I think, of their collection at this point still, and it's Lacrima. I think, to me, is up there with their top couple songs. It's got everything I'm looking for with a Ghost song. Just it's very obviously theatric, very arena, glam rock type stuff, but he's got his catchy melodies, and his guitar solos to me are what just kind of put them on the map for me. It's an absolutely phenomenal sounding album. Of course, there are other singles, Satanized, and then a couple deep cuts. I really like Mark's the Evil One in the later half of the album. Just a really, really great release for them. And I'm always just like, all right, well, I'm ready for the next one. It's so infectious. It's catchy. You just play every song, you let it go, you play it over again. And this is probably the album I listen to the most of any album. Maybe not be the one I like the most, but it's just so easily accessible.
Over 2025, you're saying?
Yeah, over
Yeah.
2025. It's probably, maybe not songs wise, but from front to back, this one probably was played
Yeah.
the most of any new albums. And
Probably for me too. It showed up on my Spotify list
Yep.
as one of my top listens, which is also always skewed because the Who was on there a bunch too, as far as
yes,
artists go, because they
from
have
our
so many albums.
podcast.
And we did the
Yep.
Who on the podcast, even though I thought a lot of that was garbage. So
Yeah.
wasn't because I liked it. So,
Yep.
but this one was the one of that I listened to not only, for the shows that we
Mhm.
went and saw, but just because, like you said, you can just put it on. It's not really that long either. It's easy to listen to this multiple times.
Yeah, it's
46 minutes,
very very easy listenable for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
And you one of the nights you went with me and my son, and he loves this too, so that makes it easier. We listen to it
Yes.
in the car, and we
Kelly
just
likes it.
yep
She likes them too. She went with me the first night, so I mean it's accessible to everyone. It makes it real easy to listen to it a million times. So
yep
for sure.
amazing album. I'll toss it to you. Go ahead.
All right.
What do you?
It just came out April 25th. I think we saw him like second week of May,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there. It was May.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked. This is more of a little bit more of a glam metal, glam rock kind of album. A little more like kind of 80s style, which I really liked. I was so pumped. Like all the singles that were released before this came out, Peace Field, Lacrimal, as you mentioned, Satanized. I loved all of those songs, and I couldn't wait for this album to come out. Like I was, it was like almost like I was a kid at some points again. That I really couldn't wait for this album to come out, and it kind of didn't disappoint me, but it wasn't as great as those songs. I didn't think, later on, once I listened to the whole thing, I wasn't disappointed. It was still really good, and like I said, I listened to it more than probably everything else. But helps that it came out, earlier in the year, like we mentioned. But I really like Satanized is probably my favorite song if I had to pick one off here because it's just a little bit heavier. If I had to pick just one, but it's really hard to pick. Like you said, Lacrima is fantastic. I love Peace Field, the beginning, the first song. It just is such a great like opening track. It just kind of builds. It's so good. I like Umbra a lot on the second half. Need more cowbell. There's a lot of cowbell in there, but I like that song a lot too. But this album is all really really good. I have to agree with you though. There was a time, maybe in June-ish, I would have said this is probably number one for me in their catalog, but I think I agree with you now that this is probably number two, not far behind Impera, being number one, but slightly behind. It's just because it's so glammy and shiny, and it's like I kind of like the little bit heavier version of them,
Yeah.
on the past albums where they're kind of exploring more of the song, where these are just like boom, 4 minutes out. It's just they're great. And I love what he does, and I love that style of music. We're gonna do one of those bands next week. So one of those 80s kind of glam rock metal bands. So I love that. I grew up listening to that. So I do love it. It's just at this point I kind of like the heavier stuff just slightly more. But man, there's such great music on here. Like you said, the melodies and the hook. Just I mean, I can't
Yeah.
get these songs out of my head when I listen to them. They're so good. So yeah, Skeleton's way up there for me. Blown away. Best show I saw all year. Best show I've probably ever seen. And I mentioned this before. We talked about this show a couple of times already on the podcast. This is probably the best arena show maybe I've ever seen in my life. Like sound wise, it was incredible. I always go into arena shows thinking, okay, I really like this band, but I know it's not going to sound great because it's in an arena. It never sounds great. I don't know how they did it. I don't.
Yeah.
It's like they put headphones on me in my seat. I don't know how many 100 yards away. It
Yeah.
was unbelievable how great this show sounded and looked too. We had a little bit of blockage from the stage, the background of the stage, of some of the things that he would do. Like he levitated. There was
Yeah.
screens back behind the stage too. He had this. It was a stand on a pole, but you couldn't really see the pole or the stand because he had this big long like gown, and it looked like he was levitating. Well, he was behind part of the stage backdrop where we were sitting,
Yeah.
so I couldn't really see him that well. But when we went the next night to Pittsburgh, our seats were just so that the angle was better and the stage looked like it was wider and they could spread that stuff out and you could see it better. So
Yep.
visually, it was better the next night in Pittsburgh. And the set list was slightly better the next night in Pittsburgh, too. But it was almost the set list. Just those couple songs they swapped out. I preferred the ones they played in Pittsburgh. But
Same.
it
Yeah.
sounded better here, to me. The sound was great in Pittsburgh too, but it sounded better here. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe how great that show sounded. It was loud, it was crystal clear, and man, for an old guy like with me, and who knows how much hearing I've lost, it's like I couldn't believe how great it sounded. I'm like, well, it's like I'm 18 again. You know, I got 18-year-old ears. No, it just sounded so good.
Yep.
So just blew me away, you know, so much so that we saw him 2 nights in a row in 2 different cities. So just fantastic. Like you
Are you
said,
going to try
next
to
night
see
was
them
with his
again in Columbus? Or
possibly.
yeah, I think me and my
Um,
son are going to go for sure.
okay.
So
Yeah, that has something to do with it too. If we got a group of people, it makes it easier, obviously, to go.
yeah,
So I'm not going to say count me in at the moment, but
yeah.
you know, we'll there'll be some serious discussions about that. So I'll see if Kelly wants to go. I'll have to find out. I'm not sure when it is exactly, but
It's very
um,
soon. It's actually only February 2nd or 3rd.
okay,
So it's only about less than a month away now.
okay.
But yeah, let me know
Hey,
about
my
that.
birthday's the 5th. You could take me for my birthday, buddy. Nah, so it's cool. Like when you got other people going, like
Yeah,
you got the tickets for Pittsburgh, and you know they were almost free, and it was
yeah,
just you were already going. So I mean, how could I say no? You
yeah,
know, but it
absolutely
was
right.
so good. So,
The
but yeah,
one thing
I'll
I will
definitely have to get
say
back
though,
on that one.
yeah, the one thing I will say, and it kind of hurts this album, and I said it before, is I don't think the ballads are very good on this
Hmm.
personally, especially the last song. I think it kind of ends on a whimper for me. I think Excelsius is one of their weaker tracks that they've ever done. I mean, to me, it's not very good. And even Guiding Lights is okay. I mean, it's way better than Excelsis, but um,
Yeah,
I think the
I was
ballads
not
really
thrilled
hurts
about
us.
those two either. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Totally agree.
and
I think you
they've
liked Guiding Lights more too when the album first came out,
yes,
but I
yes,
don't
I
really.
did, and I
Yeah.
do like it better, and it's
Mhm.
okay. Like to me, it's those three bangers at the beginning into Guiding Lights. It's okay. Like
Yeah.
I can go with it, and then
Kind of a
it's a
momentum killer with it where it is, you
yeah,
know?
it is, but it picks right back up.
Yeah.
With another 4 or 5 really good songs in a row, but then Excelsis, it's just I don't. Especially when Impera ends on the respite of the battlefields, which is to
Yes.
me, I think that's an amazing closer. It's kind of like the peace field of closers. It's very it builds up. It's got a
Mhm.
big hook,
Mhm.
and it has like the reprise of the first song at the end of it.
Yeah.
I love the way he did that. It was masterful. And this one, I just feel like he got 9 songs in and it just feels like it goes out with a whimper, and it
Yeah.
makes me want more. Like close it with a
Maybe that's by
banger.
design.
Maybe,
Good
but
old Gene Walker, you know?
yeah,
So funny.
Gene Walker, yeah,
Oh, boy. Alright, so we both have that
Perpetua.
one on our list, so
Yep, absolutely. So Ghost, that was an easy one for us. So I figure get that one out of the way first. Now we will see if there are any duplicates coming up other than that one. I'm going to go next with one that I'm pretty sure is not a duplicate. This band I absolutely love, and this album continues to grow and grow on me. Um, and again, I know it's one that you're not into. So my next choice is the second album from the Canadian heavy metal band Spirit Box, in the title of the record Tsunami Sea. So this one, like I said, just keeps on building for me. Um, at first, it didn't live up to the first album for me. I really, really like the first one, but the more and more I listen to this, it just flows so nice. It goes so heavy, but yet they still have this melodic, like undertone, atmospheric stuff going on that I really, really dig. And I'm a big fan of uh, the girl squeals, and these guys do a lot of that as well, which I think really, really is cool in the riffs of the songs, how he does this. So again, another chick-fronted band, which to me can be pretty hit or miss, but I think she really kills it. She does the singing and then the harsh vocals as well, mixing in and out. Um, just really love how this one starts with Fata Morgana into Black Rainbow. A few of their singles in there, Soft Spine and this title track in there. I just really think this band is really hitting their stride, and live they're really starting to figure it out. I've seen them a bunch of times. My wife actually really likes these guys, which is surprising because she doesn't usually like a lot of the heavy stuff, but she does have a really good singing voice when she sings, but she does have a lot of the harsh vocals in there. But Mike Stringer's bass playing or guitar playing really is what makes the difference for me. Just another one of the styles of Gojira stuff. I really like that. Again, I'll give Gojira most of the credit for inventing that Basquili style, but these guys have kind of clung on to that and then continue to build that style up. So it's another metalcore type band that I really, really like. A little bit of genty stuff in it with the alt metal and electronic. I think the electronic angle is really kind of makes it more interesting to me, where they're doing a lot of the regular stuff, but then they add all that in. So it's really interesting to me. Perfect Soul, No Loss, No Love. These are all really, really good songs. So I'm really interested to see what these guys keep doing going forward, but I really, really love Tsunami Sea by Spirit Box. That would be my second choice. And I'll toss it to you.
All right. Yeah, not a fan of Spirit Box, at least to this point. Part of it was the hype that they
Yeah.
got on Octane. Like, it was like they were owned by Sirius
Yeah.
XM. Like, it was ridiculous, the first album. And I just honestly, I didn't feel like it lived up to the hype that Octane gave it. I listened
Yeah.
to a lot of Sirius, and I was like, I don't think it's garbage, and some of it's not really my style, but I think I'd like it more if it wasn't crammed down my throat every 5 seconds when it first came out.
Yeah.
So that's a while ago now, though. So I still associate them with
With
that,
that. Yeah.
but
That's fair.
I should give them more of a chance and listen to this album more, just based on by how much you like it and how much I've heard from other people how good it is.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is you're absolutely right. But this album, much, much heavier
Okay.
and more screamy than that first album. So
Okay.
I honestly don't think they've played more than a song off of this album on Octane. I think now it's too heavy
Yeah.
for that format. I don't think they can
Right.
do it anymore. So
Yeah, I was like, what
it's
happened
just,
to your favorite Spirit Box? It's like they just stopped
yeah.
playing them,
Yeah, they
so.
can't. I mean, it doesn't fit what they
Okay.
do anymore. The butt rock
Good.
and metalcore butt rock that I say that they do. They pick cool metalcore bands, but they pick like the
Yeah.
soft radio stuff that they
They
do.
do.
So,
They do.
but yeah, I assume liquid metal, and I do listen to some liquid metal, and I have
I do
heard them
too.
on there. But
Yeah.
it's funny that you say that because they were getting shoved down our throats with Octane, and
So
now
bad. Worse than anybody I can ever remember.
but
I
now
mean, it was
they're not
that bad.
even they can't even play on Octane anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So that's good. And like you said, I do listen to liquid metal. I have heard
yeah.
a few of their songs on Sirius, and like you said, they weren't on Octane. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so enough about Spirit Box.
Yep.
On to my next selection here. This is really, really sleepy for me. I left this band for dead, the last few albums, and that is the Deftones with Private Music. This came out August 22nd. My favorite song on here is probably the first one, My Mind is a Mountain. Like this single came out before this, and Milk of the Madonna, I believe, came out before the album came out. And I like both those songs, but My Mind is a Mountain, I was like, wow. Like the Deftones kind of reinvented themselves as kind of a combination of what they did early in their career when I absolutely couldn't get enough of them on their first two albums, and kind of the atmospheric stuff which they did later, and it seemed like that's all they did later. Like the guitar was gone, like there was hardly anything except just atmosphere, which sounds cool in headphones, but I feel like if it's missing the guitar work, it's just and really the great drum work too, because they just have just fantastic musicians also. So this album starts with guitar. There's guitar all over the place, all throughout this. But I really like that song in particular because it's guitar heavy right off the bat, and I'm like, wow, this is the Deftones that I really used to like. Like, what happened? And it just keeps going. So I really, really like this album a lot. like I said, there's great guitar all over it. I wish I had gone to see him when they came here, which was
Me
not long
too.
after this album came out. It's one of the regrets I have. I saw a few great shows this year. I saw a lot of shows, a few great ones, and I feel like that was probably one that would have been great had I gone to see it. So the songs they played off of here, they were playing some older stuff that they hadn't always been playing recently. I feel like I should have went to that one. So sad that I didn't. But some of the other songs I really liked on this album were Locked Club, Infinite Source, Souvenir, and like I said, Milk of the Madonna and My Mind is a Mountain. And that's like half the album right there. And
Yep.
the rest of the songs are good. I just like those ones better. Like I like the whole thing, which I'm so shocked by this. It's crazy that there's two on my list, three really on my list that really surprised me this year. Bands that I either never really liked and came out with something I really liked, or that I used to like and just kind of fell so far away from me that I didn't like anything they did more recently, and then just blew me away with an album that came out this year. So that was really fun. And this was one of those albums. Deftones' Private Music is my second selection. What you got
Awesome.
next?
I'll just say I actually did not have Private Music on my list of 10, but it is on my honorable mentions, which I have a couple of those.
Okay.
It got really hard to limit these when I got down to
Is
my
that one you
last
had to
couple.
chop?
I didn't necessarily have to chop it, but
But
it
it was
was
close enough.
I had like 5 albums and I was like, well, I have one spot left. What do I do?
Wow.
And I just
Yeah.
unfortunately, but Stephen Carpenter, man, is so good on this.
It's incredible.
It's
It's like he
really,
wasn't in
really
the
good.
band anymore, and now all of a sudden he's
Yeah.
everywhere on this album. It's
Yep.
fantastic.
Nope. Really, really, really good. All right. My third selection, I'm going to go with the band that you basically already called, that you said was going to be here. I absolutely love this album. Released on October 24th, 2025, sixth studio album by the American post-hardcore, I still say metalcore, the Dayseeker, with the album Creature in the Black Night. They took a lot of flack for this album because they really went and didn't do a whole lot different and just took what they did on their last album and just built on it. And I actually like that path that they took, because there were some other bands, like you mentioned another one, Sleep Token, which is not on my top 10.
Wow.
And the reason they are not is because I feel like they went too far off what they were doing that made them so popular. And to me, that I appreciate sometimes, and you want bands to do different stuff sometimes, but
Yes.
sometimes it just goes so out of whack that you're like, no, that's not my band anymore, right?
Yep.
So these guys stayed and did exactly what they were doing and just built off of it, and I love it. This is another good front to back listen. It's very easy. Every song is like 3 minutes long. Huge year for them. I think listening to Octane, where you mentioned Octane, their top whatever songs of the year, Pale Moonlight was their number one song for the year. So
Wow.
again, just kind of showed how these guys really have gotten huge over the last couple years. Me and my wife saw them 2 years ago at that little club in Lakewood. That was a bowling alley, Mahal's, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Rocky
at Mayhall's or whatever.
Yep. So we went in there and we seen this band with 100 people, and
Didn't
now
you
just
see
to
them
see
there
them.
early this year too, or no?
No, we saw them
So that
with
was
Ice Nine
2024,
Kills.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But it's
That
just
shows
this
you
is
how much they've grown, though.
yeah,
right?
just in the last couple years.
Yeah.
And it's again another one of those bands that me and my wife were like, man, we got in on the ground floor, and now they're humongous. But this album really is really, really good. The guy has got a phenomenal voice. It's got enough guitar work in there that it's not just like a R&B pop act. I mean, there's enough songwriting in here that it appeals to me, and then enough crooning with this guy's voice that like my wife loves it. So just a great album. The Crawl Back to My Coffin is so good. Shapeshift, Bloodlust, some of my favorite songs on here. Just really, really good stuff. And it's all catchy. It all sticks in your brain. It's all melts in there. again, it's not the heaviest thing, and there's a lot of electronic stuff in it. That's kind of a theme for me. Is I guess in my older age, I like my metal mixed with a little bit of keyboard and electronic and that type of stuff. That just I find it interesting. But yeah, I love this album, Creature in the Black Night. I hope that they continue to just make catchy songs that I want to sing to, and I'm sitting around and I just start singing these choruses. They're humongous. They're just I love these type of bands that have a good solid enough song background to go with these vocals. So my third selection, again, Dayseeker, Creature in the Black Night.
All right. My third selection of our 10 here is a band. I went from a band that I kind of left for dead to a band that I knew I was like this album. It's just a matter of how much. Like, I like every album this band has put out. I mean, there's one in the 90s, which is they just went a little too death metal. And there's still a couple good songs on there, though, that they still play live. But there's definitely some lower points. But for the most part, I like everything this band does, and that's Testament. The thrash metal Bay Area legends put out just a crushing album, Parabellum, that came out October 10th, 2025. Just again, really, just there's definitely a theme on my list here of guitar work. These guys, Skolnick and Peterson, are just they're metal guitar gods. These
Oh
guys,
yeah.
the way they work together, they've written so much music together. Like they could sleepwalk and probably play incredible stuff that we've never heard before. Like these guys, they just play off each other so well. And like Shadow People is one of those songs that it just really shines. That's probably my favorite song on here. And it's all over this album. Again, it's hard to choose, what songs I like more than others on here. I'm excited. They're coming here again. I'm going to go see them at the Agora. I'm excited to see that. They're always live still. But again, it's hard to choose. I could choose, 6 songs out of the 10 on here as my favorite songs. But I like Shadow People a lot. I like Witch Hunt. I like Rooms 117, and the title track Parabellum. The last song is great too. I can't wait to see him again. There's almost not much more I need to say about them, really. I love this album. It came out. We did them. Is that earlier this year?
Yes.
I believe we did them earlier this year already. So I just we were waiting for this new album to come out. We didn't know when it was going to come out, and it's fantastic. So just really, really great stuff there, and I can't wait to see him again. Testament, Parabellum. What do you got next?
All right. Again, another one I don't have, but I really loved. I have it written here as another honorable mention. So that's where I knew that we might not have as many duplicates as you think, because there was too many albums this year.
We're not done yet.
I know. Another one, my fourth selection, is another band that I don't think that you and I have talked about, but I love this band and I love this album that they just recently did. This one was released May 30th, 2025, and it's the 5th studio album by American tech metal band Rivers of Nile, and it's their self-titled Rivers of Nile. These guys, they're very heavy, but this album I think is finally getting closer and closer to my range of really find it interesting. These guys have a good mix of heavy and clean vocals. Again, it's a technical progressive type sound. So the riffs are very progressive. They have a lead saxophone player, which to me is like, yes, like this stuff is awesome to me. But man, this album is so good. As soon as I heard a few of these singles, I was hooked. House of Light is amazing. The Suborbital Blues, Criminals, Water and Time, just a really, really great album. 10 songs. Again, while it is progressive and technical, you're still getting 4 or 5 minute songs here. It's not overwhelming. To me, I think these guys probably deserve to be a little bit better than they are. Just really, really talented, especially now with more of the clean vocals coming in. Um, they do a main member had left the band, Jake something or another, and they have this new guy Andy Thomas, which I think does a really, really good job on the vocals as well. So we have a couple singers. The one bass player I think sings, and the guitar player also does the other set of vocals. The drummer does some singing, but again, the saxophone. There's saxophone on 5 different tracks, which it sounds weird, but like to think about it, it sounds weird. But I think it's absolutely awesome. They got cello in here, they got banjo in here. It's just for a technical death metal type band, it's intriguing to me. So I did not see this coming, and there's another album I have in here too with a band that I never seen coming that I'd never say would be on my top list. But I just kept playing this album over and over and over again. I absolutely love it. Rivers of Nile or Nahil, whatever it is. Their self-titled 5th studio album. Really, really big fan of it.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's definitely one we have not talked about them for sure. So I will another one I'll have to check out. Maybe a little too wide range of folk instruments for me, but
Yeah,
hey,
it
you
is
never
very
know. I
guitar
mean,
sounding
I do I do love a good banjo in in
in your
songs. I have
metal.
mentioned it before, and I will mention it again. One of my favorite ever banjo accompaniments is in uh, is in the Warrant song Tom's Cabin. Just fantastic use of the banjo, along with electric guitars and kind of heavier stuff too. I mean, it's Warrant, but it's
Yeah,
not definitely not death metal. But doesn't mean that it can't fit in there. So
right.
I will definitely have to check that out. The cello, I guess, kind of fits. There's a lot of that out there in the world now, where bands have kind of a cello player, here and there, or Apocalyptica and the whole band. But yeah, the saxophone and the banjo, that kind of sticks out a little bit. So
Yeah, listen.
um,
Pick if you pick one song off of it, I would go to House of Light. It's got a
okay,
little bit of everything. It starts off with some saxophone. It's got a little cello in there as well. You got the gamut of the clean vocals, the good melody, the sing-songy songs, and then the growls are death metal. I mean, it's
okay,
as heavy as you can get, but it's
yeah.
just all over the place.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind that. I mean, it's just, if it's all that all the time, it's too much for me. But I
Sure.
do like
Yeah.
when it's mixed up. So
Yep.
yeah, I will have to check that out. And that's a band that I hadn't checked out in the past here and there, and yeah, definitely wasn't for me. But that doesn't mean that now it isn't. So
Yeah,
I will
this
check that
album is definitely their most commercially successful.
out. Okay,
It debuted on lots of different charts. Again, it's just one of those bands that I think maybe the old school people are probably pissed that they're doing what they're doing
right,
now,
yeah,
but now they're more accessible to people like me and you that are
yeah,
we love our heavy metal, but when it's all
yeah,
screaming all the time, pass.
yeah,
Like to me, that
right.
doesn't show anything, you know.
Yeah.
So
And that one just kind of stuff like that skips by you
yeah,
if somebody doesn't tell you about it. So I
sure.
appreciate that. I will check that out. My next selection here is a band that I know that you are. That's okay, Brian. It's good to see you. Thanks for showing up. And it's also late because we started early, so
Yep.
don't say it's your fault. It's our fault. But anyway, thanks for being here. My next selection is one that's it's a band that's growing on you too, that you like now more than you liked before. It is their third album. It's basically a one man band, but he does tour with some fantastic musicians. And this is Mammoth with Wolfie Van Halen, Eddie's son, with the album called The End. Came out October 24th, 2025. My favorite song on the album is also The End. That is just an absolute guitar masterclass. I mean, what he does on that album is like it's things that only his father ever really recorded. I mean, it's melodic, it's technical, it's difficult. It's like, how does he do that on a guitar? Like it's incredible. And there's a lot of different types of songs on here on this album, but it's all kind of heavier than it was before. And I was kind of when he was here, Kelly and I went and saw him. 'Cause there's another band that she likes too, and I loved the show. This is, other than the Ghost shows, both of them, this is my next favorite show of the year. It just blew me away. It was so, so good. Miles Kennedy opened, and it was like, people like Miles Kennedy was done, and people were like, hey, all right, Miles, yeah, it was a great show. Good job, and then Wolfie came out, and like halfway through the first song, he just kind of stood there and people were roaring in the Agora. It was night and day difference. It was the energy. It felt like, and Miles Kennedy's a great singer, right? I don't necessarily like all the stuff that he does. I like his solo stuff probably the least, but I don't really like Alter Bridge that much either. I kind of like some of the Slash stuff that he did, but he's a great singer. I can't take anything away from him, but something about him just it doesn't grab me. Like the energy is not there. And Wolfie comes out with Mammoth, and they just blew the roof off the place. It was unbelievable. And there's just shredding all over the place. Like this guy, he plays all of the instruments. He writes all these songs himself. It's incredible what this guy does. He's so incredibly talented. There's so many good tracks here. Like I said, multiple genre styles, like the Chevelle/Foo Fighters kind of mashup sounding One of a Kind, which opens the album. It starts off like a Chevelle sound, like, wow, is this Chevelle? And then it sounds just like Foo Fighters, but it's just a great song too. I mean, the guy's a fantastic songwriter, and he's getting better at that as it goes along. So I like Same Old Song a lot, which was a highlight of the show. It's a song that I listened to on the album, and it didn't really stand out to me, and then I saw it live, and I was like, it blew me away how great it was live. And then, the song I Really Wanna is a great song, and then there's, like, a super grungy song called Happy on here that's just right out of, like, 1994, fits right in with, like, all those grunge bands, and again, just a great live performance. And the one other thing I wanna mention about the performance is he took a song off of his first album called Stone. It wasn't a hit or anything, and he rearranged it because on the road while they were touring, he rearranged it to sound like a Nine Inch Nails song. And because he had just seen Nine Inch Nails and he was so like moved by the show, and the show was so good. Another one I missed here that I should have gone to, and I regret not going to this year. But he rearranged the song and he made it sound like a Nine Inch Nails song, and it was great. It had this extended guitar solos in the middle of it. The beginning of it, he played just on keys with like just a light behind him, so you just saw his silhouette, kind of like Trent Reznor doing "Hurt" or something like live on stage. Like it was incredible. And the fact that he can do this and rearrange this on the road with his musicians and pull it off to that level, it just blows my mind how great this guy is. So again, the talent's just off the charts with this guy. And this was definitely way up there for me. I don't know if I'd put this as the top album, but it's gotta be really close. And I probably listened to this one it as much as anything except Ghost, really. And again, it's accessible, it's easy because we can have a fire in the driveway, and Kelly will listen to it and she doesn't hate it because there's nothing super heavy about it, but it's heavy enough for me, and the guitar work is just incredible. So, like I was saying when after the show, like there's songs on his first album that I really liked, that I thought I really liked. But now those songs seem like they're just like pop hits, compared to what he's doing now. So I continue to like this guy more and more. And now he plays those songs. I'm like, wait, I'll play more of the newer stuff, which is it's rare because usually you hear these songs from past albums that you really like, and you want to hear those every time you go, pretty much. Unless you obviously there's songs you get sick of because they get played on the radio, but that's not the case with him. So um, it's just you want to hear the newer stuff because it's so good, it's so inventive, and there's so much energy in it. Like I'm like, man, just keep playing stuff off the new album, which is again not something you usually want off of out of a band. So this album was way up there for me. Mammoth with The End. What did you have next?
Yeah, I like that album a lot.
Way
and
more than the other two, right?
Yes. I've
Yeah.
told you and Hendo this because you both are big fans. I was not impressed from that first album. I didn't get it. Like to me, it seemed a little cheesy, a little radio rockish. Like I didn't really get it. And I wasn't saying he was a bad songwriter. I mean, I could tell he knew how to write songs, but to me, it just came across a little bit. I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed. Second album, it was kind of a mix, but I really was more on board. This new one is awesome for sure. It landed in my honorable mentions. Again, it's in that list of 5 that I had to kind of cut off there, but very impressive. The guitar stuff, I like the beginning of the end that you talked about it's great. Like you could see the hints of his name, right? And so the Van Halen name and some of the chops that he has. What I really want to comment more on with him real quick is the singing. His singing has
Yeah.
improved times 1,000. The guy
Yeah.
has an amazing voice. I think he's just now finding more I think the things that he can sing more strongly, the songs that he's writing, it all meshes up now. So I think his trajectory is great. I think he's going to be on his own is going to probably get bigger and bigger as we go, and less hope, right? So he definitely deserves it. He definitely got the the title of a Nepo baby type thing. He got pretty much thrown into Van Halen, and people probably didn't like that, and that rubbed him, got him on a rough start. But he's proving he's got talent. He can stand on his own. He doesn't need his dad, even though his dad is probably the greatest guitarist of all time. He's standing on his own, and I give him much credit for that. So
Yeah, and he knows that too.
yeah,
And it's got to be hard having that shadow, and he's doing a great job of. Yes, did that afford him some things at the beginning that other people didn't have? Yeah, he's working with top producers in top studios and blah blah. He's got access to his father's own built 5150 studio. He can
sure,
record in whenever he wants. Like, so of course he had a little bit of a kind of a head start as far as that goes. But the dude has worked his ass off, like you said, on his singing, on stuff like that. And I love when he goes on with these like guitar guys in these videos. Like I can't remember what the one guy's name was. It's driving me nuts. But anyway, he had him on for like 45 minutes. And then there's parts of the song the end where he's like, oh, yeah, a little bit of in this was Wolfie saying this, and he's like, yeah, people come up to me, they're like, oh yeah, a little bit of Eddie in there. He's like, no, that's this. And he played the part that they're talking about, and then he's like, what I did was this. And he plays it like he plays the beginning of that song, and it's incredible. The dude, it just makes my jaw drop when I see him do this stuff. It's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. So, and I can't say enough great things about him. The dude just puts a smile on my face. It's incredible what he does.
All right.
Anyway.
Yep. Moving on, my number 5, and I will go with an assist from my dude Brian Swag Dubs.
Swaggy Dubs.
My number 5 album, and I've talked about this on my mid
That his stage
as
name?
well. Maybe might be Swaggy Dubs.
Is that what he went by back in the day?
I don't know. I don't think so. But if we were doing a band now, then he might be Swag Dubs
for sure.
But the album that I'm referring to is Sleep Theory, who it's technically their debut album, which that's why this is almost cheating for me to put this on here. But to me, it's more of a compilation of songs that I've loved by them over the last probably 2-3 years. But technically, the album was released May 16th, 2025. So it's on here. Afterglow, again, their debut studio album. Just banger after banger on this. These guys, this is the band I told you with he's got like an R&B type singer with the metal riffs. It's very, I don't want to compare them directly to Seven Dust because it doesn't necessarily have that groove. And I don't want people to think because it's got this black guy that has this R&B singing voice, it's got to be like Seven Dust. But this guy has got a phenomenal voice. It's the hooks of all these songs are just, again, I'm a sucker for the hooks. I want to sing along to these choruses, and these guys do that. Static, 3, Fallout, Stuck in My Head. I mean, these songs are, if you've heard Octane, you know these songs. Gravity, awesome. Numb. I mean, these songs have all kind of been pretty big on here, but not a whole lot more to say. Again, I covered this on our mid-year what we like, and this came out, was kind of my vacation album when we went to Outer Banks. I listened to this a lot, and it still has a rotation place. There's just too many songs that you can sing along to here. To me, this is an underrated band. This may be all they ever do. I don't know. Again, because this is kind of like a compilation over things that they've released. Like, oh, I released a single. They just put them all on this album. So I don't know what else they're going to be able to do, but I'm really a fan of this, and so is Swag Dubs. So number 5 choice for me is Afterglow by the band Sleep Theory.
Sleep token. There's a lot of sleep going on.
A lot of sleeping going on.
Team sleep. Everybody's got to sleep, right?
Yeah.
All right. On to my next one. This is album number. I was just counting them. I think it's 10 now. I lose count because we've been listening to them for so long, both of us. This is one that we might both have on our list here. And this is Avatar with Don't Go in the Forest. This was released on Halloween, October 31st, 2025. I'm really hoping they'll come to Cleveland here for the first time in a long time, too.
I
They
know.
play in Sonic Temple and won't come here anymore. They used to come here for every album. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th album by them. Crazy.
Yeah.
That they're on their 10th album already. It almost makes me feel older than I already feel. But anyway, this is just another great album by them. I feel like Dance Devil Dance was a little bit of a kind of a drop off for me. I mean, I still like it, but not nearly as much as like the 3 before, 4 before that, 5 before that, and this one. This one is kind of back to their goofy best. I want to say, like,
I agree.
They do some goofy stuff, but like Tonight We Must Be Warriors and Captain Goat, but they do it so well, it's unavoidable. Like, I can't get these songs out of my head. Like, they're so catchy. And again, this is another band with 2 guitar players that are just out of this world good. I mean, I love these guys.
Yeah.
They play off of each other so well. They're so insanely talented, and they write this really hooky, great like guitar riffs, and it's just it comes out amazing for me every time. So, or just about. It's a little different in spots. Like I said, like I feel like In the Airwaves kind of represents kind of what they do,
Yep.
what they kind of do on a normal basis the best. But then there's also other great songs like Tonight We Must Be Warriors and Captain Goat. Don't Go in the Forest. Like, I almost can't believe they haven't kind of had a hit song yet to this point.
Yeah.
Like, Don't Go in the Forest has got like radio play written all over it, and I don't know why they just don't get that. I mean, because they're from Sweden, I guess. I don't know. Another one of these Swedish metal bands. That's where it's at right now, man. There's just so many good ones just keep getting cranked out of there. I like Death and Glitz a lot, which is a little bit on the heavier side, but has kind of a disco-y little bit of singing in the chorus, which is weird. But I kind of was kind of off-putting at first, but I kind of grew to like it a little bit. I don't know. The song is just so good. Like, I can't not like it. So, but this album, I do have to say, it's a bit top heavy as far as the excellent songs go for me. The second half of it, while it's still good, it's still a really good album kind of throughout. But the second half of this album is not nearly as good. It's real kind of top heavy. So, all those songs I mentioned are in the first like 6 songs out of 11, and it's just they're kind of back to what they do that I really like. So, Avatar, Don't Go into the Forest. I think we're on number 5 now, right?
Yeah, that was your 5th selection.
You're
Yep.
going in at number 6. So on
Yes,
to your number 6.
My number 6 will go with Don't Go in the Forest with Avatar.
All right.
Right there with you, partner. And I agree with just about everything you said. Very top heavy album, but man, those first 5 songs are so good. I definitely agree. And I'm actually a little surprised it was on there because I think you were totally in at first on it. You're like, I like it, but I don't know. I know I liked it really a lot from the get-go, and I'm glad you've warmed up to it. That's
their
good.
goofiness, it sometimes takes me a while to really like it. Like,
Yeah.
Avatar Country was like that too.
Yeah,
It's
very much so.
goofy, it's real like show tuney and kind of goofy at first, but it's heavy. But the
Yeah.
more I listen to it, I can't get it out of my head. I can't get
Yep.
away from it. Like
Yep.
it traps me, and I can't. It's almost like I knew it was going to happen, even though I didn't, but it did because it happens every time with them almost. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. At first, I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I was really looking forward to it, and
Yeah.
it's good, but I don't know how good. But now I love it. So it's just
Yep.
one of those.
Yeah, this is obviously my regret. Obviously, I was in Arizona. They were playing. It didn't work out that I could go.
Not your fault.
It isn't. Again, I still regret that I couldn't do it because, and I am going to get to see them at Sonic here in May. But again, it's a Sonic set. It'll probably
be bigger Sonic set than usual because they keep growing. So
they are on the main
they'll get another
stage.
song or two than usual. There you go. Better than the 5 songs on the side stage.
Yep. So. Yeah, something about Tonight We Must Be Warriors. I just love it. It starts out with like a Yankee Doodle sounding whistle, and it just like, what are you guys doing? But when it kicks in, it's
like, what is this?
It turns into this anthem-y thing, and
it does.
They chant like the whoa. It's just it's so weird, but it's so good. Captain Goat is even weirder. It's like shanty. It's like a shanty. But
kind of reminds me of Hail the Apocalypse, like that. Like they did a kind of a theme-ish on Hail the Apocalypse with him, like he was kind of the captain of this boat,
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like this song sounds like it should have been on that album.
Yeah.
But it's goofy, but it's so good.
But my favorite on here, and you mentioned it, In the Airwaves is exactly what you want from them. They just they punch you in the nuts, and it's heavy.
And laugh about it.
And Don't Go in the Forest is awesome. Death and Glitz is awesome.
Yeah.
I do like I like Howling at the Waves and Take This Heart and Burn It. I think are two strong ones for me too. But 100% agree with you. Those first 5 songs just come out and hit you, and then after that it just kind of coasts. Again, it's good, but those first 5 are A, B+ songs. Those last ones are more B minus songs. So there's definitely a day crescendo there with their strong material, but man, they don't disappoint. I tell you what, any album I put on of theirs, I like it. And that's a testament to me, a band that's not super huge, that just consistency, everything they do, great guitar riffs, great singing. I mean, everything, just the themes of all the stuff that they do. It's killer stuff. So yeah, my 6th, your 5th, my 6th selection, Avatar, Don't Go in the Forest.
All right. On to another band. Now, this is a band that I've really never kind of really was into. I've tried many, many times. They've been around for a long time. This is a band that our friend Hendo actually has a podcast about and has for years, every 2 weeks that they do. And that's Dream Theater with Parasomnia. This came out February 7th, 2025. Again, these are like the progressive metal masters that I don't always like, with their 18-minute songs. And but this album is fantastic. Today, my favorite track is probably Midnight Messiah. It's probably the most straight ahead kind of metal track, but I also really like Night Terror a lot. Bend the Clock is really good. It's so hard to choose, and like tomorrow I may have a different choice, but a good but weird live show that you were at too. Got cut short by like a 20-ish minute power outage, and they didn't make up those songs, which kind of pissed me off. Like, I know there's a curfew and it costs these bands a lot of money, but like, to kind of, I don't want to say cheat your fans. It's not like they caused the power outage, but man, like,
well, I heard they did. Now that I've heard some inside information, I heard it was something that they use in their stage set. I can't remember if it was something on their instruments. When I found out about it, I told John Drake because, I knew he would know what I was talking about, but there's something that they use that was flammable or something like that. And it started smoking and it set off the alarm, and it put everything into shutdown mode. So, so it's something
you work there set, now, so maybe
I do.
You probably know more about this, which is cool.
But yeah, I agree. They did miss a bunch of part of the songs, and it was kind of
There's probably
sucky.
2 or 3 songs, and for them, they probably could have just put 1 in there for 18 minutes and covered the whole thing, but
Right.
they didn't. They played the rest of their regular set, and that was it. Like, and that kind of pisses me off when bands do that. Like, hey, you're gonna come into cost overruns here and there on the road, I'm sure. Just eat it. You're playing for your fans. It's sold out. Like, these people are here to see you. They paid a lot of money for this.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, maybe things weren't all their fault. Maybe it was, but to not make those up and play a little bit longer, that's kind of shitty. I don't know, let's be honest with you. But leaves a little bit bad taste in my mouth. But their album is still in my top 10 because I just am shockingly, shockingly like this album way more than I ever thought I would. So it seems like there's probably less than an album's worth of songs in their whole career that I really like. And this one, I like just about every song on here, which it kind of doubles the output for me as far as songs I like by them. So excellent stuff. I got on the podcast they did when this came out. I had a few drinks, but it was kind of fun. They did like a live listen on their podcast, Talking to Infinity. And so it was kind of fun to get on there and kind of share my thoughts, but I probably sound like a total idiot too, because I'm not really a big fan of theirs. So I kept calling John Petrucci Al Petrelli. I don't know. They're both great guitar players. So it was no disrespect, but it was kind of funny. But anyhow, Dream Theater Parasomnia is my number 6 album. Really, really good stuff. What do you got
All right.
next?
All
Is
right.
that 6
So
or 7? I don't even know where I'm at.
that was your 6. So we should have 4 left each,
Yes,
right?
got 4 left.
Oh,
Yep.
all
Man, I'm the
right.
worst at counting these things.
It's all right. I got your back, man. I got your back.
Thanks.
Number 7 for me is another band that kind of snuck up on me that I've been a fan of for a long time, but kind of went off my radar because their lead singer left and then they invited him back. So he is now back along with the old singer. Sorry. Of course, I'm talking about the Canadian rock band 3 Days Grace.
Wow.
With the album Alien Nation. This album was super impressive to me. I didn't know what to expect. And I think I told you about this when we did our mid-year. I knew this was coming and I had heard a few songs off of it and it was promising to me. Well, it came out in August 22nd, and I love it. I was blown away. I love what they've done with the 2 singers. We know Adam Gontier is phenomenal. He's in great stuff. Obviously the old 3 Days Grace albums I loved. I think all of them were really, really good. And then he went to do Saints of Sonia, which I think is really, really good. Him and
Yeah.
Mike Machak from Stained is his guitarist in there. Phenomenal. So again, I was excited because I'd seen them live together at Sonic last year, but I didn't know what they were going to release with a whole album. Well, it's great, especially the first half of it. Another top heavy album for sure. But they come right out the gate with Dominate, which I think is really, really good. Apologies, which was a huge song for them. Mayday was the first one that was released back when they first announced this. Catchy song, but let me Kill Me Fast. Okay, this is the song. I think it's right now. It's huge on the rock charts. I think it's like been number 1 for whatever. Just band kind of it's 3 Days Grace. I mean, it's not with all these metal albums we're talking about. These guys aren't going to blow anybody away with any kind of metal of any kind. But this is what Adam writes. These songs about breakups and whatever, like girls and like that's what he writes about, and he does a great job in his vocal style. I really missed it with the 3 Days Grace stuff. So second half of it is not as strong. The title track Alien Nation is good. They do a song with Lindsey Sterling, the violinist. How do you say that? Violinist. Violinist. So she's on there. That's pretty good. In Cold Blood, good. The second half, like I said, is a little forgettable, but definitely give that a listen if you haven't given 3 Days Grace a chance in a while. put on the first half of their album. To me, very, very catchy, good radio rock. And again, Matt Walsh, who was the singer after Adam quit, has he's done great jobs. He sold a lot of records with them, and the fact that they make it work, I think, is really, really cool. So yeah, number 7 selection for me. Pretty easy selection. I listen to this album a lot now. 3 Days Grace, Alien Nation.
Yeah, I'm surprised by it. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one that's kind of gotten by me. I was huge 3 Days Grace fan. The first 3 albums of theirs
Yep.
are just ridiculously every song, like every single song is
Yep.
good. I loved them, and then he left, and then Saint Asonia I really liked, and then 3 Days Grace kind of turned into like a shine down for me where it was like, yeah, they kept pumping out number 1 songs. They actually have some kind of weird record, like other than Van Halen, like they have the most number 1 songs, like from debut number 1 songs or some crap. Like it's crazy the number of songs that they've put out, and that continued on
Yep.
after Adam left. So that's one I need to go back and listen to. I didn't realize I'm going to see them. Kelly and I are going to see them. I got tickets. They were really cheap for this arena tour they're doing. So I'm going to listen to it, but I keep forgetting about it, and it's just kind of passed me by. So I'm really glad you brought that one up because I'm going to go back and listen to that one now, knowing that it's that good.
Especially
You
the
think
first
it's
half
that
of
good,
it.
so
That first
excellent.
half of it is excellent. Yes.
Good stuff, and I don't know why it wouldn't be. Like I said, Adam,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, and I don't know why I didn't think that this would be good too. I thought it was a little weird them
For
doing both
sure. For
singers.
sure.
And Adam, he has said many times on tour with Saint Asonia about how, well, you can either listen to us or you can go listen to the other band I was in with the karaoke singer. And I'm like, now they're in the same band together, but he's not saying that anymore. So I thought
Nope.
that was kind of interesting.
It
So
is.
he doesn't say that on stage. Hey, here's that karaoke guy that got to replace me. So, but that's cool. They're both on it, and like I said, I should have listened to that one. That one got by me, so thank you for that.
Yep.
My number 7 is Machine Head with Unatoned. This came out April 25th, 2025. Another kind of minor regret that I didn't go. I know you and Brian went to the show at the place you now work, but I've seen him a million times, so I just kind of skipped that one. I want to say it was right around the same time this album came out. Like the album either wasn't out yet or was out for a couple of days or something like that. But it was this album is really good, and like their last couple of albums, I always like what they do, but those albums kind of lost me a little bit. Like they just the songwriting wasn't up to what I really liked by them. And I wasn't sure they were going to be able to put something out that I was going to really like again. And then they put this one out. And even this one, I wasn't sure at first. The songs they released, at the beginning, like Unbound, I like a lot. But then there was another one that they put out that I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I really love that one, but the entire album ended up being pretty good, and songs kind of grew on me. Like the songwriting here is way better than it was in the past. Like if Kingdom and Crown was the album before this one, and Catharsis was before that, and Catharsis I really didn't like. That's the bottom of the list as far as their catalog goes for me. And if Kingdom and Crown, it kind of got out of that a little bit, but it still wasn't great. But this album's really good. So again, Unbound is just an old school Machine Head banger of a song, but there's a lot of other stuff to like on this album as well. Um, Another again outsider I like a lot. These scars won't define us, I like a lot, but surprisingly, the song "Scorn," the last track, I really like. Like I don't necessarily like the slower stuff that they put out. But I really, really like that song a lot. Like his voice sounds great on it. Like he's kind of done some things, I guess, to preserve his voice because he really, really sounds good on this album. Bone Scraper's good. Like I said, there's a lot of really good songs on here. It was almost hard for me to pick. Yeah, I was really surprised that I like Scorn that much. But again, like Outsider is really good. These Scars Won't Define Us, and Unbound is incredible. It starts off just tearing through, right? Like Landscape of Thorns is an intro track, but then Atomic Revelations and then Unbound, they're just really bangers, machine head bangers, you know. So yeah, I'm actually I wasn't sure if this one was going to be on your list. This wasn't one that I thought could be on your list. I thought maybe kind of an honorable mention for this one for you, but I'm wondering what you thought of this album in total. But it's definitely grown on me since it came out. I wasn't sure that I would really like it, and now I really do. So number 7 for me is Machine Head Unatoned.
Yeah, I definitely like it. It's not on my list. It's better than the last one for sure. It's a more complete album to me than their last one. Uh, while it's not perfect, again, they've written their best stuff. I mean, there's no doubt about
Sure.
it. They'll never touch that stuff. But
No,
at least this one, this
isn't
newer
cracking
album
the top 4 or 5 for me for
no,
sure. But
yeah,
it's top half.
it's
It's definitely gotten the
dude.
top half.
Rob's guitar playing is always ear candy for me. I don't
Mhm.
care what he does, other than what is that one? The awful one. Catharsis, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that one, he's pretty much can't miss. At least it's listenable. This one is really good. The last one was a little bit. I know we talked about the last one they did. This one's much better. Definitely an honorable mention for me. Definitely got some listens for me. Didn't quite crack the top 10. There are a lot of stuff. Like I said, this was just a year that I had to be very picky and choosy, and I had to look at some of the stats and seen what I was listening to more to do some tiebreakers, including this one, which is my number 8, which I guarantee that you have no effing clue what this is, because nobody that I know knows what this is. I stumbled across it just getting down the deepest, darkest parts of the internet, like I do sometimes with YouTube and things like that when I can't sleep at night. Before I tell you what this album is, I'm going to tell you a few of the reviews that it got and what they said. So Metal Hammer stated, "This is an album that is clearly going out of its way to expletively delete with its listener. Distorted Sound gave the album a 10 out of 10 while noting, while it might be a monument to the anxieties and contradictions inherent to being in a critically acclaimed band in a very niche scene, there's nothing remotely close to failure on this album." So again, people like it, but it is weird. It is very weird. This was released on May 16th, 2025. The band, you will think I'm making it up, but the name of the band is the Callous Dowboys, not the Dallas Cowboys. The Callous Dowboys.
Not the Doughboys.
Nope. Dow Boys. The title of the album, I Do Not Want to See You in Heaven. I don't want to see you in heaven. This band.
How do they know they're going to be there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they do.
Kind of taking it for granted, huh?
I think so too. So this is
definitely never heard of that.
It's a very experimental. Deep. Yeah, it's a very experimental rock, very metalcore, but they have all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's right down the herd, whatever, the alley that he listens to. The weird, I guess you could say like mathcore, like that kind of stuff, but it's kind of like a what's that awful band that none of us like, the Dillinger Escape Plan. It's a little bit like that, where it's a little jarring to listen to, but I don't think these guys, they don't have those awful screams that they have in that band. This guy has a really good voice. He sings really, really well. They have a violin player on here too. She's on like every song. She like tours with them. She's part of the band. Just it's real metal Corey riffs with a lot of jazz fusion and stuff on slower parts. Just all these songs just stick in my head, just like all the other albums that I have in my top 10. Couple songs that I love off here: Schizophrenia Legacy, Full Moon Guidance, Two-Headed Trout. That's my favorite song on here. Just a catchy song about swimming upstream and getting a hook in your mouth.
Which mouth? Which head?
Whichever one. You're kind of got either way. Lemon is a very jazz infused. There's no screamy vocals in that at all. Anyway, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this one because I know you're not familiar with it, probably people that are listening to this or that would watch this have no clue what this is. Give it a listen. You know, it may not be for you, and I completely understand it. Just really weird stuff that I dig it. I kept playing it and playing it and playing it, and I've been listening to it a lot the last couple months, especially I haven't had a whole lot of podcasting stuff to listen to. So I've listened to this one a lot. But again, the Callous Dowboys, I Don't Want to See You in Heaven. Check it out if you're bored one Friday night. I'm going to listen to some Callous Dowboys.
All right, so the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be checking that out by the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Dallas Cowboys, man, that's pretty funny.
I know. I thought it was a joke. And again, if you know anything about me,
is it spelled like Dallas Cowboys with the
no,
D and the E switch?
No, it's
no.
And that's why you don't recognize it right away because it's spelled callous, like like Callous.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Not
Callous and then Dowboys. So Daoboys, like Dow, like the Japanese, like Dow.
At least they didn't go with Boiz or something.
I know.
Boys.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. You know what's really, really funny is my 8th album is one that nobody's probably heard of either. That's so funny that we have it in the same spot on our list. Now, I know I've told you and Brian about this band, and I tell everybody that I can about this band. It's not like anything else that I have listed on here, though, for sure. So it's definitely a little bit different. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit they've been kind of labeled as a Christian band, but they're based in England, and they are called Witch Hazel. Now it's Witch Hazel with a Y, so Wytch Hazel, Hazel. This is their 5th album. This is called Lamentations, and this is just yet another album by these guys that I love. This is a band that I heard about during their 2nd album, which was called Sojourn. Now their albums are a prelude, and then they have 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 2 is Sojourn, and then 3 is Pentecost, which I absolutely love, and then 4 is Sacrament, which is really good, and then now this one, Lamentations, which I think is even better than Sacrament was, but not quite as good as Pentecost. But so they have a lot of religious themes in their songs. It's just the way they write songs. It's not necessarily that they're trying to preach; they just have a lot of religious themes in their music. So, and thanks to Bill Peters and the Metal on Metal show on Friday night. He is about 10 years older than I am, so he's approaching his mid 60s. He was a young man when the new wave of British heavy metal was around, like the Blue Oyster Cults and like Judas Priest, and like he was into all of that stuff huge. So this band is like a current band. They weren't around then. None of these guys are that old, but they sound like those bands, like Thin Lizzy, like the new wave of British heavy metal bands, UFO. Like it's guitar driven rock. But this guy, Colin Hendra, is a guy that he writes most of this material, and I think records most of it himself too. A lot like Wolfie does, like Wolfie Van Halen does, but not to that level, obviously. But there were times during COVID when, after Pentecost came out in 2020, where I was just looking for stuff to watch because we were just all in the house or whatever, and I found this dude, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, or no, sorry, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon his time, which is 10 o'clock a.m. my time or whatever. So he's online, he's writing songs that end up on these albums, that he's like, hey, there's like 8 people watching. He's like, well, what do you think about this riff? What do you think about this? And then he'd go over to the drums. So he'd write a riff, he'd record it, he'd go over to the drums, he'd kind of play along to it, and then he'd put a little bass with it. He'd be like, how about some piano? And he'd play some piano and he'd put that in there. And it sounded so good. And then to hear these songs kind of be recorded all together on these albums is just such a great experience, to see him having written parts of these songs, and some of these songs are even still showing up now. Now he's kind of behind a paywall on Patreon or whatever, and you got to pay to see him do this stuff, which good for him. They're kind of growing a little bit, but this is also a band, like I said, that nobody, unless you really dig deep into this stuff, you're not gonna have heard of these guys. But they get slowly more popular. they've only been to the States, I think, 2 times to play 2 shows ever, and they were both like huge, like metal shows that were like all day long, big kind of festival thing, but like not in an outdoor Sonic Temple 4-day festival, like a 1 day, like in a gym somewhere kind of festival, that they kind of have a lot more in Europe, but not here. But I've seen these guys play on a couple of these European festivals that they'll broadcast live online. I try to catch them where I can. I wish they'd come here sometime, but I love their music. And this album is kind of no exception. They just keep cranking out good stuff. Highlights for me on this album are Citadel, which is the third song, and then the last 2 songs, Heavy Load and Healing Power. Healing Power is one of those songs that I saw him write parts of online, and it's a great song. Like, this band's really like uplifting. If you're ever kind of like in a bad mood and you just want to put something on that kind of lifts your spirits, but still has guitar in it and really good singing and good songwriting craftsmanship, like, you put this on, and it's almost impossible to listen to this and not feel like in a lighter mood, So definitely try to go check these guys out if you can. Witch Hazel. I mean, it's on Spotify, so it's not like you can't find it. Lamentations is the most recent album that came out earlier this year, and it's fantastic. So please try to check out Witch Hazel. What do
I
you got
will.
next?
I will. I remember you talking about them before. I have never listened to them, so I will take that away from here as my homework assignment.
Awesome.
Sounds like something I would like.
Definitely not like, Octane stuff,
Sure.
newer, it sounds old.
Yeah.
It does, but it's good. It's catchy. Like, the guitar works really good. Just really great, kind of straightforward riffs, and like the musicianship is fantastic. It's just not. It's nothing over the top. It just kind of has an oldie kind of feel sound to it, but it's really good stuff. I think you
All
probably
right.
like.
Yeah, and I'll give it a shot. So that leaves 2 more selections for each of us.
Let's do it.
My number 9 is one of my all-time favorites. I talked you into doing a podcast about them, and I think you actually liked these guys. We'll see if you have it in your list or if it's an honorable mention for you, but I really like, released on March 14th, 2025, from the progressive rock band Coheed and Cambria. I got Vaxis, Act 3, Father of Make Believe. Man, these guys blow me away every time. And when I first started listening to this, I always have the same thing with these guys. Well, it's not as good as their older stuff. But then I listen to it and I like it, and these things just grow on me. They don't write any albums that don't grow over time on me. They always have a theme. They always have great guitar playing. I think his voice is getting more and more, I don't want to say acceptable. I've always liked it,
Mature.
but yeah, I guess more grown up to where people are like, okay, well, I couldn't listen to Claudio before, but now I can listen to him. But
yeah, real off-putting for me. That was a hard point
early
for
on,
me
yeah,
when we did the podcast, for
yeah,
sure, and it's
yeah,
gotten way, way better. You're
yeah.
right. And this is
So
honorable mention for me too.
okay, all right, yeah, this is just to me really solid album release for them. Um, Goodbye Sunshine, starting off with a little bit of like an intro. Searching for Tomorrow, really, really good. I like the title track, Father of Make Believe. I think both of us have talked about Blindside Sunny, just an awesome killer tune.
Yep.
That's the hey, hey, give me some. It's really, really cool. I talked about seeing them in Youngstown with Hendo. They had this big skeleton looking face out with these lit up glasses and stuff. It's like this. It's the guy from, I guess, the CD cover or whatever, or the video if you've watched that. But the big face on stage. These guys just kill it live. Corner My Confidence, great song. The Continuum 1, 2, 3, and 4, just a good way to end out this album. I love this album. It's just, to me, it's more consistency from this band. They just, to me, they can't really do a whole lot wrong. Even early on when the vocals are a little bit rough, man, their guitars are just so good. I think this guy is so underrated as a guitar player, and not just him. I mean, he's got Travis with him, Travis Stever, and they're both together just phenomenal. Just a really well produced, well sounding band, just riff machines. And it's cool that they have comic books and stuff that go along with their stuff too, and stories, and Herd can nerd out to it, so I like it. But my number 9 is the 11th studio album from Coheed and Cambria, Vaxasac 3, the father of make believe. What do you got for number
Yeah,
9?
definitely. That's definitely a band that was kind of growing on me a little bit. And I remember talking about that album and that how I feel like they're more accessible to me now than they ever have been. So I'm really curious to see where it kind of goes from here. I do like the kind of story stuff. It is pretty cool, and that there's comic books and stuff. And yeah, his voice has gotten more tolerable to my ear holes, I guess,
Yeah.
over time. So he's, like you said, always has written great riffs, good guitar player, but man, his vocals were just so off-putting to me for so long. But now it's definitely getting better. So I'm looking forward to their next album, where I would never have said that,
Yeah.
up until we did the podcast, and then I started listening to the more recent stuff, because like I had seen them back in the day, and I'm like, nope, not for me, and I just kind of wrote them off, and that was it. So, but thanks to you, I went through, and thanks to the podcast, that I
Yeah.
went through and listened to it all, and I found stuff in there that I liked more than I thought, and the more recent stuff is getting higher up the list. So I'm looking forward to what they're coming out with next. So my number 9 is a band that we both love. Also, it came out with a new album this year. I don't think we really dislike anything that this band has ever done with either singer. When you started talking about a singer coming back, I'm like, could he be talking about this band? And then you said guitar player. I'm like, no, definitely not. And then you said both singers, and I'm like, okay, now I know who it is, but it's definitely not this band. And
Yeah.
that's Kill Switch Engage, because they don't
Yeah.
have both singers in this band right now. So,
Right.
the album is This Consequence. The highlights for me on this one are Abandon Us, Forever Aligned, I Believe, and Collusion. I like just about all of this album, and I like just about everything that this band has ever really done, to be honest. So, to different degrees, obviously. I mean, I could rank them, their albums, and we have ranked
Yep.
them, but I I feel like this one is kind of it's kind of moved into the kind of the top half of their catalog for me. This is a really, really solid album. There's only 10 songs, it's 35 minutes. It's kind of right to the point. It's heavy. There's the great hooks in here. Jesse Leach is fantastic as usual. There's some great like growly stuff, and then him just soaring above with his vocals and like the chorus and stuff. It's really, really, really good stuff, and always a fantastic live band too. I've seen them so many times. They never disappoint me. So looking forward to seeing them again. I don't know that they came here. Were they at the Sonic Temple this year? No.
No,
Okay.
I
I
don't
don't
think this
I don't
year.
think they
Last
came
year, I
here.
think they were.
Okay. I don't think they came here for this album cycle yet.
Right.
So I don't think. So if they did, I missed them, and then I've seen them a whole bunch of times, but they come here usually multiple times, so I'll get to see them again, I'm sure. But this album, it continues to grow on me. I wasn't sure what to expect at first. I didn't never really disliked it. I'm like, okay, it's Kill Switch Engage, but the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, oh man, I really like this song. And then I'm like, man, I really like this one too. Like Forever Aligned. Like I wasn't sure at first, and then I listened to it 4 or 5 times, and man, now I love it. Abandon Us, the first song. I just there's stuff that just it's real earwormy for me, and it just gets caught in my head. And once I start listening to it, I almost can't turn it off. It's really, really good. So this is my number 9. Kill Switch Engage, This Consequence. Did you have that in your list?
I did not.
Oh, I
But
thought
again,
maybe that was going to be
another
one of the ones.
Yep, just another one of those honorable mentions. To me, everything they do is great, like you said. But I
Yeah.
think the difference to me is it's more bottom of the catalog for me. For them, that's not a bad thing, because I think they've gotten more A's maybe than almost any other band that we've done. Like I've thought the first, like my favorite 3 or 4 albums for them are all like A's for me.
Mhm.
I think they've been kind of the pioneers of this metalcore that I love
Oh,
still to
yes.
this day.
Absolutely.
They're the originators of it, and I just think almost everything that they do is so good. This one for me, again, while it's really, really good, just it fell a little short compared to a lot of those other ones. So I didn't listen to it that much this year. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
I was
still
gonna
grow
say
on me.
I would have said that too
Yeah,
before listening to it more, and now it's kind of crept up into like the
yeah,
mid to top half for me, just
yeah.
kind of barely,
But
but
it's
yeah,
an
I
honorable
thought
mention for me. I
okay,
love this band, and
yeah,
I've listened to this album a bunch of times, and I can't say anything bad about it. It's just,
mhm,
you know, when you have so many great albums as Daylight Dies, Alive or Still Breathe or Just Breathing, and Disarm the Descent, and End of Heartache. I mean, these albums to me are some of the greatest metalcore albums of all time.
mhm.
It's just really hard to live up to it. And I'm not saying that it won't. It's just so far, just it hasn't been the one that I go back to the most. So awesome album, definitely. Like I said, honorable mentions. I had 5 honorable mentions that I felt maybe any other year, maybe it might work, but I had to pick other ones, and it's different bands too. Sometimes they're a little bit fun to talk about, like this band, which now we didn't rank our albums, but this is the last one. A special album for me for sure. I just have listened to it all year long. It came out in February 28th of this year, and I love every song on it front to back. Like I said, it's not my favorite album of the year, but it's up there. Of course, I'm talking about metalcore, almost pioneers, because we just talked about Killswitch. The band Architects and the album The Sky, the Earth, and All Between, to me, is my favorite album that they've done. It just keeps growing on me and growing on me. I love it. Every song on it is really good. Um, the singles Seeing Red, Curse, Whiplash, Black Hole, Everything Ends. I mean, there's so many great songs on here. Anybody that's a metalcore fan, if you don't know a lot about these guys, give this album a listen. Uh, Great metalcore riffs. The guy's got a great singing voice, got some screaming in there too. Um, Really, really good band. I've started to see them live now at festivals and such. So really like Architects, British band. Just really, really cool. They've really grown on me the last probably 3-4 years. I'm just really impressed with everything they do. So, um, yeah, not a whole lot to say. Again, I talked about this in the mid year, and this one has just continued to get the plays for me. Uh, Architects, The Sky, The Earth, and All Between is my 10th and final selection for 2025. And I will throw it to you for your last selection of 2025.
My last one again isn't my favorite one, but this one made my list, and that is a band. Also, this is another one of those ones I kind of wrote off. Didn't really like what they do more recently until this album, and that is Lacuna Coil with Sleepless Empire. This is a band that kind of writes kind of what they're feeling at the time. So there's different themes to different albums. Like every album itself is like a different story or kind of theme. It's not like they're writing a Operation Mindcrime like a story album. But they have like a feel or a theme about it that they write around that. And generally, like there was 3 albums there like in a row that I really liked by them, but that was, we're talking late 2000s, and I really liked this. So maybe even to mid 2015, 2016. But then like the last 3, 4 albums by them, I just didn't care for. And they kept kind
Okay.
of getting further and further away from what I liked until I heard this one, and I was just shocked. But I'm like, wow, here we go. So Sleepless Empire is a return to kind of what I love by this band. Um, Again, it don't always align with what I like, but this album surely does again. So there's just really good stuff here. Highlights are Scarecrow, Gravity, Hosting the Shadow was a song with Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, and I love the song Sleep Paralysis. So kind of back to back on this album, you have Sleepless Empire and Sleep Paralysis, which I thought was interesting, kind of tracking for this album to put those 2 songs back to back. But I absolutely love the song Sleep Paralysis, fantastic song. And I'm like, this is a Lacuna Coil that I wish I could hear all the time, and I hope they put out another one that kind of is in this same vein here soon, because I like this one a lot. I might even be motivated to go see them on tour for the first time in a long time for me too. They're coming here, I think, at the end of March. It's 2 days away from Testament, so I don't know if I'm going to want to do 2 shows in the same week as I'm getting old, but I'm gonna have a tough time trying to pass that up because I do really, really like this album, and I hope they play like half of it on tour. So
Are they headlining that show?
they are. They are
Okay.
at the Globe Iron, which I still haven't been to yet. So
I may go to that. Let me know.
yeah, I will. I will definitely do that. I'm going to see if I can't get tickets. There's different ways. I mentioned Bill Peters and Metal on Metal. They do a February kind of fundraiser, kind of because it's college radio, right? So they basically they operate on donations kind of for the most part. I'm sure the school helps them out, but they really need donations. So what they do is they'll put packs together of, hey, if you donate $40, we'll give you 2 tickets to this concert, which is still ends up being cheaper than what I can buy
Sure.
them
Yeah.
for from Live Nation or wherever. So I will probably try to get them and maybe Testament if I can't get them some other way through that if they offer them. So they don't offer every show, but he's already given away tickets to Lacuna Coil for the Globe Iron. I know he has people at the Globe Iron where he gets tickets from them through those promoters. He doesn't get tickets like for every venue, but like for the Agora and the Globe Iron, it seems like almost every metal show that goes there he has tickets for. So I have a feeling that I'll be able to try to score some of these. So I will definitely let you know. But yeah, it would be cool to see them again. It's been a long time since I have gone to see them. So it would be nice kind of to go see them again. I think the last time I saw them was probably 2016 or something, maybe even before that. So it has been a long time. So, but that is my number 10, Lacuna Coil, Sleepless Empire. I do have a couple of honorable mention things that I wanted to bring up, not necessarily albums, except for one. I did just get done talking about Bill Peters and Metal on Metal. He does a a listeners poll every year, and he had hundreds and hundreds of people voting. Witch Hazel is a band, like their last 3 albums are always in like the top 10 or 12. He does 25 at the end of every year. So he has people vote on their top 3 in any order, and he just basically tallies them up. This year I was shocked. I was so shocked. Like Testament was in the top 5. Um, Dream Theater was in the top 5, like stuff that I expected to be there. But the album that won was by a band called Lady Beast from Pittsburgh, and the album was called The Inner Alchemist. Check this album out. It's fantastic. I cannot believe it won. Like, I know the album's really good. He's been playing lots of stuff off of it, but I cannot believe that the listeners voted this album number 1 out of all the bigger band stuff that has come out. Machine Head was in his list. Like, I cannot believe that this album won. So I am going to try to buy this album. I guess you can get a digital copy on, I think, Bandcamp or one of those for like $2. So I might just
Wow.
do that, but it's, yeah, I just wanted to shout that out because I was so shocked. And it's a regional band, which is even cooler, that a band from 2 hours from here that are getting big and have put out quite a few albums now and are playing like the festival circuit on a lower level in Europe now. And they just kind of came back from there for like the second time, I think. This is the longest time they ever played over there. And like they're kind of blowing up with this album, and it's kind of cool, So I want to listen to more of them, and so try to check out Lady Beast and their new album, The Inner Alchemist, which has been out like I guess since spring or I think early summer. So I also wanted to mention 2 albums that will be coming out this year to look out for, Cleveland bands that I really like and I'm into these days, and that's Bessemer Saints and After the Apocalypse will both be releasing new albums this year too. So kind of keep an eye out for those. I try to plug those guys wherever I can.
Yeah.
I like both of them a lot. I've seen them both live many times. They're both fantastic album. They're different kinds of bands, but both of them are really good. Both of them have albums coming out this year. So, anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, just obviously a really good year because there's a lot of stuff that you had that right on the cusp for me. So I
I think
love.
you only had two matching.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
one.
That's what I
Had
predicted.
2.
I said 3 at the
Yeah.
most, probably 2.
Yeah, I thought it'd be
Um,
4 or 5, but I guess I got all the honorable mentions on your list.
Basically,
That's
yeah,
what I
yep.
thought.
I had Testament. I had Mammoth. I had
Kill Switch.
Yep, Kill Switch, Machine Head.
Machine
all
Head.
those were honorable
Like 4
mentions for me.
I thought 2 of those would be in your list, and we'd
Yeah.
end up with like 4 or 5 maybe. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You definitely had some shockers for me that especially the Dallas Cowboys, man. I can't believe they put out an album. That's great.
I know. Yeah.
How
about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah,
So
great year. A great year for music. So
yes, definitely a great year for music. A lot of great stuff came out this year, and a lot of stuff for me to like 3 Days Grace, man. I don't know how that got by me. Like I got to go back.
Yeah, dude.
I'll have time, and I'm going to see him, so I'm going to be listening to it anyway. But
where did you get cheap tickets to that? Did you just get them from your
online? Dude, that one those were just cheap to begin with. So
I might
they're
go.
coming with somebody you really like.
I Prevail. I don't like them anymore.
No, the middle band or the
Funeral Portrait is the other band.
Funeral
My son
Portrait
really likes them. Yeah.
All right. I thought you guys were into them. So
yeah. So I might take my wife and son to that. I Prevail.
Yeah, it's fantastic because what's that?
They were better. They kicked their singer out.
Oh, okay.
So their clean singer got kicked out, and they're not as good. I mean, they're still good. It's just like a different sounding band now. We'll see. It's not a draw that it used to be for me, but 3 Days Grace. I think it's something that I can take my wife to, and
they're so solid, man. You're gonna like every song they do, every single one of them. You know, like how can you can't go wrong. And I
like their new album. So that's a positive too. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of the new album. Like it to me, it sounds a lot like old 3 Days Grace. It's
good.
Just now
there's music to my ears, man.
Now there's another dude that's singing too. So I think they mix it together really well. So
and I don't hate the stuff that they came out with later. I just didn't like it nearly as much. You know, like there's still some really good songs in there. And like I said, every song they do, whether it's from his era or Adam's era, I'm gonna like every one of the songs they do live, especially if they're doing 3 or 4 off of the new one. If it's that good, I'm gonna like those too. So yeah, you can't go wrong. And it was, I want to say it was like 40 something bucks to sit like in the third row. Didn't I think I texted you when I got tickets for that.
You did. And
there was some reason that you couldn't go.
I felt like there was some. No, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it. Maybe that's what it is.
I had 4 tickets, and then I was waiting, and then you had something going on at work, and then you did get back to me, and then you're like, "No, I think you said you couldn't go anyway, whatever day it was on." But anyway, we'll talk about that. We got more people with that, but anyhow, I'm sure there's still tickets left, and I want to say it was like 40 something bucks with fees and everything for tickets. It wasn't bad at all. It was like $42 or something.
Yeah, I really can't beat that. So I'll have to see. I'll see what date it's on, and I'll go from there. But yeah, all right. Well, like you mentioned, we'll be back next week to get started with our A to Z again. We'll be doing the band Rat.
Yes,
next
the
week.
letter R.
Letter R.
Yes.
Yep. So we'll be doing Rat next Tuesday.
Old school 80s glam metal Rat.
That's right. So any Rat fans out there, give us a listen. Swag Dubs is back, and you showed it same time I did, so we cleared it out.
We canceled it right. I'm going to do it again.
Yep. 3 Days Grace, Hit Machine. That Mr. H mentioned that earlier. Just it's crazy how many songs they have that are hits. But that new album is, it surprised me, and it shouldn't have. I don't know why it wouldn't. Why wouldn't Adam Gontier back with them? Why wouldn't they just make 5 hits? I don't know. That's just what they do.
Especially with the same other guys that are in the band, like Brad Walsh, like the singer's the brother. You know, he had his brother to sing for him after Adam left, and like those guys are the guitar player. He's still the same guy. The guy with the trench coat and the giant beard. Like well, I can't ever remember his name, but like it's still the same dudes. Like, of course they're gonna write great songs. Like, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, great stuff.
Awesome.
All right, partner. Well, we'll see you next week for Rat. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Rock on.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
What would you say you do here?
God damn it. Bob, we love playing here tonight. My brother's ready.
It helps if you think of it as a game, Bob. Every game has a winner and a loser.
must possess strength to inflict pain, Bob.